So they're gonna try their best where students cannot be transported from point A to point B. So you're gonna have a lot of unions fighting against that.
Kid right now has to go to
because in certain communities where they don't have certain resources, it's a lot of kids. Once again, I've raised my kids, graduated 3 kids from. I've been afforded some things in this community that some people down south don't have.
Yeah,
right.
That's a fact.
And some of these school events, I'm questioning them like, how the hell y'all expect us to have jobs and still transport these kids to and from these events all throughout the day? But if them people down there had to do it,
so you think what we're doing now is better?
Because they ain't got transportation. Half of them ain't got transportation.
I think we need to go back to the real truth and the real truth.
Because that's what I'm saying. Because they're in impoverished areas, and we already know based on how we see.
So then, how do we fix it? We have to pay for a
areas
car,
don't even have
a house?
grocery stores.
No, of course not.
Those same areas
that's
don't.
horseshit.
There's food
I see
deserts.
everyone
Come on now, you don't know
everyone here
about
has a
food deserts.
smartphone. You can literally order any food that's ever existed on Earth to any municipality cheaper than ever.
If you're in an area that already has a lack of resources and you're already low income, how you gonna
lack of resources? Translation: high crime.
Or something.
Amazon, one click.
But see, here's the deal.
We're talking about food deserts in 2025. Come on.
I think there's a broader problem that we will not discuss. And you know what that is? You've got to go all the way back. This has been an insidious process that's been at work. And the bad part about it is, as long as we as white and black America keep fighting among each other, we'll never see the big picture. You go back to 1982 under Charlotte T. Eisenberg, who was the Department of Secretary under Ronald Reagan, Department of Education. She wrote a good expose many years later called The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. She kind of patterned that after that B.F. Skinnerian behavioral modification, and it ties all into the founder before the Department of Education, which was General Education Board, where they say, you know what, we don't need more painter, we don't need more artists, or we don't need more poets. We just want good cogs in a wheel that are easily taught, that we can mold under our own hand. That mantra still holds true today. So you got to look at that. You got to look at where we come from. We come from a nation that was industrious and coupled with innovation to now everybody tends to do things like you say with your smartphone. You know why? Because pictures keep you from looking at things contextually. All right. So when you think about,
oh my God, what the fuck this guy's saying, yo? This is, look at him. He's like, what is he saying? Like, this is the problem with these conversations. It does require some level of reason, right? Not only reason, but your continuity. I don't understand how they can just have these conversations and not understand concepts. This guy's just rambling.
This educational system, you got to go back to what changed in this educational system and why we're where we are.
He told you already.
I just did.
Yeah, he told you already.
Simply said that everybody wants to be dumb, or everybody in the South.
I didn't say everybody wants to be dumb.
Okay, well, tell you this too. Here's another problem why scores are so much lower in this country, especially when you talk about black.
Because money doesn't fix a problem. It's that
money doesn't.
We've thrown money at the problem, and it doesn't do shit.
Solve the problem at the core root of it and start reforming the real academia. All right, that's where you solve the. So you know what you tell people? We're gonna operate in the system of meritocracy. God damn it, you will eat what you kill. If you're giving you $50,000 to go to school and you decide that you don't want to, or you fail to adhere to what's being presented before you, then shame on you.
I agree. You do away with DEI. You do away with the sex affirmative action. Do away with all of it. Eat what you kill.
Do away with DEI, but make it fair across the board.
But that's what I'm saying.
I agree.
If you're gonna do away with DEI, you got to make sure that the merits are properly being counted.
Yeah, exactly. That's
because the reason why DEI was invented, reason why affirmative action was invented, is because you'd have 2 qualified candidates, same qualifications, but one would get in strictly because his name was Johnny and the other one's name was Jamal. Well, we're gonna take Johnny because naturally Johnny's gonna be better at it, but they got the same.
That's not what affirmative action does. Oh my God, affirmative action, what it does, it just gives advantage for minorities for simply being from that racial group, from a specific racial group. It doesn't give. So if that's the case, that you have 2 people that are the same qualification, and one is just, so you're supposed to elect the other one because he's black, I guess. Like that, even if you grant those arguments, you still want racially just give the other guy the job because he's black, I guess. Which is not should be the case. If the private company decided to just hire somebody that his name is John because his name is John, Well, that's the culture. That's the culture. It's an English culture. It's an English nation. It's a mostly European based. Makes sense. Make sure you don't name your kid something weird. I guess, right? People don't think about this stuff, but you also, when you're a parent, you have to be very careful how you name your kids, because naming your kids can really ruin some of their chances as well.
Qualifications. That's why affirmative action was instituted in the first place.
DEI came in because of shrinking white feminists who wanted to claim credit.
That's a snapshot you can present it in, but
I agree with you. I agree.
That's a snapshot you can present it in, but I'm just saying, like, the reason why.
No, what I'm saying is,
you go down to ask why.
I'm being flippant, but the truth is, black people were being admitted in record numbers if they had the same qualifications before DEI and affirmative action. White shrieking feminists wanted to take credit for something that was already happening because people had become less racist, so they can say, tag my white name on there, DEI. See what I did for black people? It's white guilt. And what I'm trying to tell you is, young people who have nothing to do with any of this, their guilt is running out, and you can't escape the violent murder rate. You can't escape them losing opportunities and being blamed for being racist when they're not. And you want those kids to pay reparations? You're creating a generation of racists. That's what's going to happen.
And then you're going to have a...
We're not creating DEI.
Then you're going to have...
We as a black community, we're not creating a generation of racists. You know who's creating that generation of racists? Those older white people are feeding that into their kids. See, all white people are not racist. I don't believe that.
No, of course not.
But the ones that come from families that have that inherent gene or trait in them, they're passing that on.
How?
See, I look at this.
The boomers and Generation X were the lead. They ate the Kool-Aid. What you're talking about, man? Like, they ate the Kool-Aid, man. 1970. Everybody happy. The how they call these people from the 70s? I forgot their names. Yeah, you're talking about the boomers, the one that created all this problem. Right now, you have more racist realists than ever before. I'm telling you, what's going to happen in the next couple of years is this is going to move into politics. And people are going to take these situations into their own hands.
The gentleman that got killed, Charlie, he was killed by a white man, a young white man, right?
Yeah.
From the generation that you're talking about that's getting fed up.
Well, he was also banging a
now, his dad had one ideology. He followed another ideology. That's out the same household. He didn't come from nowhere black. He wasn't hanging around with no bunch of black
people.
I agree. I'm not saying
that mindset. His daddy put whatever was into him. His dad either put that into him, or his rebellion from his father caused him to think like that.
Conversation.
We're not creating that. Black people.
That has nothing to do with them. I agree with you.
You ever seen over in Africa? You see an elephant with a bird.
No, you're not saying that in Africa. Okay, but you go live in Africa. See how it goes. Go to South Africa. My goodness, those places are just infernos.
Riding on his back. That elephant ain't worried about that bird, because that bird not stopping him from doing the thing he want to do. Where's
I don't
the
understand
bird?
what you're saying.
No.
Where's the bird? You're not stopping white America from doing anything.
You're not the bird or the elephant.
$4 billion worth of cities and 60,000 assaults.
No.
And one young white kid. No, hold on. You
the
got to
bird might get blamed for it.
Right. The bird is half as big as the elephant.
Steve, you act like it's only blacks that was burning it down. What about the Black Wall Street?
You know, what I said earlier, and you listen to this, is when you have a young white person going, okay, why is this happening? And people go, Black Lives Matter. And they go, well, hold on a second. I have an opinion on Black Lives Matter. They go, well, sit down, shut up. Okay, now silence is violence. And that kid goes, well, what do I do? By the way, you're on the hook for reparations, even though his father, his grandfather, his great-great-grandfather didn't own a slave, and he's still 12 times more likely to be killed by a black person the other way around. What I'm saying is society is going to create a generation of racists. What do you say to that young white kid? What do you say to him?
Stop watching. Stay off of TikTok.
Stop
paying attention to what these talking heads are saying, because they leading you down the wrong
accountability.
path. They leading you down a path of paranoia and conspiracy theories.
What if their interactions with black people in general are quite negative?
Well, we're in it now, and we're going to continue next Thursday, October 16th, on the next installment of Black and White on the Gray Issues.
Do you realize that you could take all the white people in this country, and if you're going to add up everyone where you could actually trace the lineage to slave owners or had any involvement, you would end up with maybe 2 or 3%. You shouldn't be getting anything.
That's
and Charlie Kirk shouldn't be shot.
So my question is,
but how is this? What is it? How is this relevant? So here's something that's important, right? Because Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Let's be clear about this, and we're both agreeing because people believed a lie.
Somebody got to get them sweet potatoes out the ground. Somebody got to do that. White people not going to do that.
Of course we will.
Once again, when the work got hard, that's when they went and got slaves.
Yeah, white people.
Oh, Vivo, these people are not smart.
Can I ask you something real talk? While we're having real talk, why do young